What is up, everybody? Welcome to Deep Dive. My name is Jazz. Back at it again. I think this is episode technically 10 of Deep Dive because last one kind of got pushed ahead. So this is technically episode 10. Yep, we've been doing this for a few. Today I got a great friend and somebody that I've gotten pretty close with in this space over the last year. He works in the Jelly team and the Gambulls team and does everything under the sun for the both teams. And just somebody that I find very interesting in this space. So I wanted to give a little chat with him and get to know him a little better. So let's welcome Jack to the stage, everybody. And you know him from the Jelly Show if
Yo,
you've
what's
watched
up, man?
any of the shows. So what's up, man? How you doing? I know it's my morning, it's your evening. How'd your day go today?
Yeah, man, pretty good day. It's just Eid here, which is like the final day of Ramadan. So there's not a lot going on over here. Everyone's just going home to their families and chilling out. So it's been a bit of a quiet day over here.
Nice.
Anyway, a lot of things are closed right now. So yeah, there's not
Yeah.
really much going on.
Yeah, I see a lot of people talking about it in the chat. Saying happy EID or ELD. I'm not that
Yeah,
I'm
EID.
EID. I'm not ignorant to it, but I just don't know much about it.
Yeah,
But I know it's a holiday. It's a Muslim holiday. It's about Ramadan, right? And the fasting and all that stuff and that celebration
yeah,
coming to an end, right?
yeah. Big celebration. So yeah, Ramadan is over now, so everyone's back to normal. But there's like holidays, so a lot of things are closed. Like the schools are shut. A lot of like local businesses will be shut. Just like the main multinational businesses, I guess, are still open. Like your McDonald's, your Burger King, stuff like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, everyone's just celebrating right now.
Yeah. So when you said the national stuff like Burger King, stuff, the American
Yeah,
businesses,
yeah. Essentially, like Starbucks, everything American is just open. But everything
Americans
else,
like, give me that money.
yeah, yeah, yeah. They're not going to shut in for anything, man.
Everything
No
else is
chance.
closed. We can capitalize on this.
They're taking advantage of it. Yeah. So
it's
yeah, good for them.
it's American business, man.
Yeah.
But without digressing into that. So what I want to do is, man, I just want to find out a little bit about yourself. Like, personally, I don't know much more about you than what I know from just being in Discord with you and being in chats with you and having some personal conversations. But what brought you to Web3? Like, what got you into crypto, NFTs? Like, let's hear that. Like, I want to know how you got here.
Basically, it's like a two-part story, I guess. The first part was it was like maybe it was I think it was the end of 2020, and I was just sitting at home, and I had a you ever hear of an app called Revolut? It's like a mobile banking kind of thing, but not quite like an actual bank. I was just sitting on there. They added the option to trade crypto, and I was just like, "What the hell is this crypto?" Like I'd never heard of anything before. I didn't even hear of Bitcoin or anything. So I put some money in from my bank, and I was like, let's just see what this is like. And the first thing that I ever bought was Shiba Inu, and I put like 50 euros in or something like that, just literally for no reason. I have no idea why I did it. And I came back a week later, and the shit was worth like $500 or something. So I was like, this is like the best thing ever. I guess I got in at like a super lucky time, and I was like, man, this is like an infinite money glitch. Like, am I missing something here? So at that point, I started like looking up stuff, and I was just scrolling on TikTok one day, and I saw some guy being like how to make money on NFTs, and I was like, oh, what the hell's an NFT? And this guy was basically just saying like, you just mint this stuff and then you sell it, and it's like an infinite money glitch. And I was like, well, yeah, that's something that I would definitely love to do. Like infinite money sounds cool. And then I just basically got into NFTs, and that's kind of the starting story of crypto and NFTs. I guess it was just like pure luck, really, is what kind of got me into it.
It's funny you say like infinite money glitch and how it was presented to you. Now that you've been here for a while, do you feel that's
It's an
true?
infinite money drain. It's just an infinite money drain, man. But
I've
yeah,
been lied to.
I've been lied to.
Do you
It's a
still
mix of
talk?
both.
Do you still talk to that person?
Which person? Oh, I just saw it on TikTok. It wasn't even
Oh,
like a
okay.
person I knew. I just saw a
Gotcha.
video of like how to make money in NFTs, and I was like, oh, this seems this seems easy. And then you start and you realize that
So
it's
pretty much a shitfluencer brought you into the space.
yeah, basically just a random TikTok video of a guy just looking for views, just engagement farming, I guess, and he got me. So
Yeah, it's
yeah,
funny though
yeah.
now that you have the knowledge, like when you look back at how you entered and like what got you, Like, it's kind of funny to think about because you're like, I was one of those people. And that's why it's so important that, like, as we scale projects and we build projects in the space, that we understand how to use those tools, because that influence we're using the tool got you here. And then think
Yeah, yeah.
influence you've had in this space since you've been here. So think about that impact. You know what I mean? I think that's really cool to think about when you just think about it at that scale of how you got here from it, and then how we could resource that same tool to bring more people from the outside in. But that's pretty cool, man. That you got into TikTok. Like when I first met you, you were Jelly's alpha caller, and you did alpha calling for a long time. What got you interested in doing like alpha calling? Like, because to me, like I don't like, I love the space and I understand the metrics and I understand the cycles, but I would never want to be responsible for other people making decisions by giving them advice. So what got you into like wanting to do alpha calling? Or was it just like a Web3 job and you're like, fuck it, I'll do it, it's paying me? Or was it something that you really had the desire to do?
It was a mix of both, I guess. So like how it started was, funnily enough, the first ever project that I minted was Jelly Babies, which was in like, I want to say like December 2021 or something like that. Me and my friend actually got into it, right? We were like, let's just put some money into NFTs and see what happens. We minted Jelly Babies for maybe like $50 or something like that, I think it was at the time. And yeah, basically got rugged hard on that. And then I saw this guy called Carlos in the Discord being like, yo, I'm taking over this shit. And I was like, proper, what's the word? Skeptical, I guess you'd say. I was like, messaging him in the chat. This was like 2 years ago. And I was like, yo, man, you're probably a part of the team. Just try to drain more money out of everyone here. Like, how do I know that you're not the original rugger and shit? And then he was just like, well, whatever. Like, believe what you want. I don't really care. So I was just like, fuck this shit. And I just left it in my wallet. I was like, whatever. Like, I just didn't go into the Discord or whatever. I was just like, I'll leave it there. There's no point in me like selling it because it didn't sell for anything. And then I came back. I looked like a week later, and that Jelly Baby that was like 0.1 had pumped to like 0.6, 0.7 or something. I was like, oh, well, maybe there's something happening here. So I went back into the Discord, and then that's kind of how the whole thing started. I saw Carlos took over like properly. He seemed like pretty on it. He was like fully doxed and stuff. So I was like, okay, this guy is obviously like, yeah, pretty not here just to rug money if he's giving out his personal info and stuff like that. So then I got a little bit more involved. I started buying a good few more Jelly Babies at like, yeah, between like 0.5, 0.6 up to like 1 sol. And then it was probably like, I want to say like a month or two later, there was like an announcement basically saying, we're looking for an alpha caller. And I was like, what the hell is an alpha caller? So I just like found out some information, and I had like zero experience whatsoever doing this. And then I was just like, you know what, like, because when I'm doing stuff, I like to like properly be a part of things, you know what I mean? So like if I'm working in a certain industry doing something, I want to try like not just learn as much as I can, but like put myself forward to learn different things in different places. So I just sent him a message. I was like, yo, man, like I'd love to have a go, like to take the position. And he was just like, what experience do you have? And I like listed off some bullshit that wasn't even true. And I was like, oh yeah, I've done this. And he was like, oh, cool, let's do it. And that's basically how it started. And then, yeah, I just had to learn fast as fuck, really, on how shit went. But yeah, it ended up pretty good. And yeah, one thing led to another. And then, yeah, just got closer with the team and yeah, just worked my way up, I guess.
Carlos is listening now. He has grounds to terminate any contract he has because you.
He already knows. I've told him a few times. I was like, man, I completely pulled the wool over your eyes, but it is what it is.
Welcome to Web3.
You know? If I was like, oh, I've got zero experience doing this, I've never done it before, I'm obviously not going to get the job. So I have to kind of put some white lies in there a little bit.
Yeah, you got to show initiative and got to go out and get what you want. I mean, I'm happy you got the job. I'm happy you lied because, we were able to cross paths the way we did when I first joined Jelly. I'm not really into alpha. I like to do stuff for myself, but I do appreciate alpha being a part of a project and being a utility giving back the holders, because like, especially right now during the airdrop season, we're seeing it personally. We're making so much money just by having these people out there doing work for us. And I was saying it yesterday in the chat, how much I appreciate the alpha people, even though I don't resource alpha like most people do. Like my wallet just shows up stuff this happens to be there because I'm a holder, or like I'll fill out a form real quick and I'll get something. And if it wasn't for these guys behind the scenes doing this work nonstop in DMs, and that's what alpha calling is, you're literally talking to teams and DMing and just like trying to find out about the project, doing research, digging into them, joining the Discord, hanging out in the community, trying to get a vibe before you call it. So it's not just like, oh, this project looks good, let me just make a post. Oh, I have 50 of these, let me make a post. Some alpha callers do that, but not the real ones. But
Yeah.
so there's a lot of work that goes into it. That's why I was kind of curious, like what got you into that, because me personally, I like to enjoy my life, and I don't think I could have that responsibility, and I'm too empathetic. So if I call something and it like tanks and people lost money, I would
Yeah.
feel so bad. Whereas you're a little cold hearted, so
Yeah, it's like it's one of those things where you just kind of have to like remove your emotions. I guess it's like you're not going to have 100% hit rate. It's like literally impossible. So you just have to accept that. Fuck, if I miss some, it is what it is. Like, you know what I mean? Life goes on. You just have to make sure that you're hitting a lot more than you're losing, basically.
yeah,
Like if
you
I'm
gotta,
sitting there making every single call is going to zero, it's like, what the fuck are you doing? But like if you're hitting like 80, 90%, then like if people get mad at you for missing that 1 in 10 call or whatever, just go fuck yourself. You know what I mean? Like it's just brutally honest.
Yeah, I mean, it's the truth too. I mean, like it really is. It's definitely the truth. But I mean, I know you've made Jelly some money. Like people that have been in Jelly communities, when I first joined, like you were the head alpha caller and you were calling some cool stuff. And all the people that work with you now, I think all came after on the team, because I think when you were the alpha caller, I don't think any of the people that work in alpha now were with the team. Maybe one. I don't think any of them are.
Yeah, maybe
They all came
maybe
after.
dimmed down after a little while, I guess. Because yeah, when I went to lead alpha, I was like speaking to Carlos. I was like, yo, man, like I really want to build like the best possible alpha team that I can on Solana and like really push Jelly Alpha to the top if possible. And luckily, like he kind of gave me some leeway financially and like gave me the room to actually employ some of the better people in the ecosystem, in the alpha ecosystem. And definitely, I would say like during that FTX time, like we probably as a project, maybe like actual DAOs were different, like just pure alpha DAOs. But as a project, like I would confidently say we probably had like the best alpha like out of any project on Solana at the time. Like we were printing like 100 sol profit every single week for like 2 or 3 months straight during that crash time, which was like really good. And yeah, the alpha team was like smashing everything. Not only like alpha, obviously airdrops weren't really a thing back then, but we were getting like all the pre-sales, all the whitelist for everything. So yeah, it was like super successful. And around that time as well, I think I had my own like alpha DAO, which was like a paid membership subscription thing. You'd pay like $50 a month basically to get in there, and that again was printing like 100, 200 sol every single week. Everyone was making money, everyone was happy. It was an easier time because Solana was at like $10, $20, so projects would easily pump from like 2 sol to 6 sol, for example, because it's not that much USD. So it was like very, very easy once you understood what you were doing and what the catalysts for pumps were. It was super easy to make profits back at that time. Obviously now it's a little bit different. Like not many people are buying NFTs in general, and there's not really any catalyst right now except for airdrops. So it's a little bit tougher now, but yeah, back then it was definitely a lot easier. And yeah, I do feel sorry for the for the guys doing alpha right now because it's tough to navigate.
Yeah, for sure. I don't see as much alpha calls as we used to in a lot of different discords. They're very picky, and rightfully so, because nobody, like you said, are buying NFTs right now. NFTs are very I guess people will come back to them. I keep trying to tell people, like, to me right now, NFTs, people are looking at NFTs like we were looking at crypto when Bitcoin was 15,000. Everybody was scared of it. They weren't
Yeah,
sure. There was uncertainty. They weren't sure about things. But all I can say, is you're investing into NFTs that are around teams that are showing up every day and that are building, that are showing that they're building and that they're continuing to push forward, and they have a path and they have a vision, then go ahead and invest in them, because you're pretty much just investing like I was investing in crypto when Bitcoin was 15K, So, not saying go out and spend all your money on FTs. Everybody's chasing that get rich overnight scheme right now with meme coins. And rightfully so, a lot of people are printing, a lot of people are making money. I've seen people make 6 figures overnight. And these airdrops like Tensor, for example, people that farm Tensor properly made bank. I
yeah,
barely used Tensor and I made a few $100. I think I got like $600-700 and I did a few trades on there. So it's cool to see that that narrative is changing. but I still have a lot of faith in NFTs, and I think you do too. Of course, being part of the Jelly and Gambulls team and being a big force with them. And that brings me to my next point. Like, what are you up to now? Like, what are you doing in this space? I know, and a lot of people know you work with Jelly. You know, like explain a little bit your day to day. Like, what are you up to? Like, what's your deal with Jelly, Gambulls, Jelly Drop, all that?
Yeah, the main focus like that we've had for the past month or two, maybe a little bit longer, is like we don't like the only thing we're focusing on right now is just building the businesses. It's like the only thing that really matters because like right now, no matter what, within reason, no matter what we do, it's not going to cause too much of an impact on sentiment, on floor price, on anything like that. Like if we could say Gamble's just made $1 billion this month, and people would be like, "Oh, that's cool," but like when airdrop, you know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
like we're just focusing on making sure that we're doing everything we can to make sure all of our businesses are in great positions and constantly like evolving and just generating money. So that's like the main focus right now, whether it be Gambulls, whether it be like with Jelly Drop, just development right now. Like we launched the platform as like I guess like a beta to make sure everything worked, everything is like fine. So now the whole thing is just evolving that platform to get where it needs to be. Obviously, Gambulls is always taken away in the background. It's got like a whole separate dev team, and always improving month by month. I'm pretty sure for the last like 8 or 9 months, every single month has been like higher profits each month, and it's only what like a year old, like maybe 14 months old. So it's like for where it is, it's like way ahead of what we ever could expected. And obviously we've got offices here and stuff, so we go to the offices, have like meetings and stuff, and we have all the developers there too, which is really good. And yeah, we've got like a whole marketing team there on that Gamble side too. So it's like a proper, yeah, like a real proper business and like something that's going to absolutely explode in the next couple of years. It's already exploded for, I mean, the time it's been out. You know what I mean? It's like way ahead of expectations. So that's the main thing we focus on, is just making sure that we've got a team in place, like obviously the alpha guys, because it's important, right? Even though it doesn't make like too much difference to the floor or whatever, like we don't care about the floor. It's more just making sure we provide stuff for the holders that they can use, whether it be the airdrops right now. Obviously we've got people on the airdrops. Whitelist isn't really a thing right now, but we still got people in place, like just when and where whitelists happen. So just a little thing that making sure the team is like properly structured, and just making sure that we're pumping the businesses and focusing on businesses. And yeah, we don't really focus on much else besides just those two things really.
And maybe explain a little bit how you went from um, lead alpha into the role you're now with the team. Like, what happened? Like, what was the catalyst for that? Like, did you just desire the want to like really work deeper with the team and like really see them succeed after working with? Because me personally, working with Jelly, I love seeing you guys work in the background, and it makes me love working with you guys. And I'm wondering if that was the same kind of like catalyst you had that went like, all right, I don't want no longer just want to do alpha. I want to have a bigger part of this team. And did you go to Carlos and say, hey, you know, I would love to do this? Or did he come to you? Like, how did that happen? Like, how did you transform over to community manager and being like one of the top guys in the Jelly Gambulls team from just being lead alpha?
Yeah, it was like, I guess the start of it was when I was just first like a normal alpha caller. I always saw like staff VC, and I was like, I messaged Carlos one day, like this is again like very early in my days, and I was like, yo man, like does the team not like go in VCs and stuff and like generate ideas or whatever? And he was like, yeah, we do. And I was like, oh, that's weird. Like I never see you guys like in the VCs or whatever. And he's like, oh no, we've got like a different VC for like the closer team, I guess. And I was like if you wouldn't mind adding me, that would be sick. Like we could talk about different ideas and try to push things forward. And then that's how I kind of got closer to the like core team, I guess, at the start like that. And then, yeah, then I went to lead alpha. I was lead alpha for a long time. And I was just like super ambitious to try to do as much as I can and like get involved with as much stuff as I can. So my role kind of inevitably became not just doing lead alpha stuff, but getting involved more of every part of the project really. And then, yeah, maybe, I don't even know when it was, maybe like last year in like July or August or something, or maybe even before that, I'm not even sure. Carlos was just like, yo man, like you want to just step up to like be a part of like the core team or community manager. Like community manager is just like a name, I guess. It doesn't really like make sense for the role, but it's just like a standard name in NFTs. But he was just like, yeah, like you're super involved doing a lot of different stuff. So if you want to just stop doing the alpha stuff and kind of step up to this new role, and I was like, yeah, like let's do it. So That's kind of how the transition happened, I guess. And then obviously, as I was so involved with everything on the jelly side, when Gambulls started happening, I was like super involved with that too, like from the beginning of it. So that's kind of how it happened, I guess. Just me, just being eager to, and probably being annoying at times, asking too much questions, and yeah, probably just a bit of me being annoying, and then just pushing myself into the role, I guess, until it happened.
And then you pretty much have been the one that's been, bringing on Jelly Drop to the front. You were very active with the launch of the server and promoting it on Twitter. And I know we've been a little stale in the server right now. Anybody that's listening, it's in the Jelly Drop server. I keep saying when airdrop. It's coming. Jack kind of touched on that. The platform needs to be built out for the next update, and that's when it's all going to be released. A lot of people don't understand that we were beta testing Jelly Drop when we launched it, and we needed to have a substantial amount of volume on the site to really critically test it. So that's why the hype was there to test the site. And then once we knew that it was working well, the dev went right back to work at getting the next update and adding the new features that are coming. So once the next update comes, that airdrop will be there, and a lot of other things will be there for the holders of Mavericks. So just stay tuned to that. But like I saw you really took the lead on that, so it's good to see like our team at Jelly bridging out. Like, we have Dem focused solely on Alpha and Soul Suite, and you're focused mostly on Jelly Drop right now, along with everything else you're juggling. And Carl's in the background, and Carl's is in the background dealing with a lot of things too. It's just cool to see some of you guys like take main focus though. Like, all right, Jack, you focus strictly here. And I know Carl's working a lot on the background of Jelly Drop too, because he's one of the people that are doing a lot of the boxes and putting together a lot of the stuff to help the dev team and the front end developers. So it's just awesome to see you guys work like that. And like I said, I can't say it enough. I'm super honored to be able to work with you guys on the background, see you guys work like this, because it's not often you see teams out there that are showing up every day and actually working every day. Like literally every day you guys are working. There's not a day I don't see one of you in Discord, or if I ping you, you don't answer me in team chat. You know what I mean? Like you guys answer us as soon as we need something. So excuse me, I'm having a bit of a hoarse voice here for a minute.
No, you're all good. It's a little bit like that, but it's more like everyone's involved with Jelly Drop, right? Like it may look like it's just me because maybe I'm like just the most like running the Twitter and stuff like that, and doing different things in the Discord. But like everyone is like, I couldn't do it without Culture, couldn't do it without Carlos, and especially without Backerberg, who's building the whole thing. So it's like we all have like our different kind of roles, I guess, but it's not like you do this and then nobody helps you with that. You know what I mean? We're all like intertwined in everything. So yeah, like without Culture doing like the stuff on the back end of Jelly Drop, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing. Without Backerberg actually building the infrastructure and platform for it, I wouldn't be able to do anything. And then obviously without Carlos overseeing everything and kind of making sure everything's getting done and yeah, just overseeing everything in general, then nothing would happen. So it's not like just one person on each thing, it's like a whole team collective. And yeah, without everyone getting involved, nothing would really happen. You know what I mean? We'd be stuck. So it's like a massive team effort from everyone, really.
Yeah, for sure. And just to be clear, I wasn't saying it was like just you doing it.
Yeah, no, I get you for sure. But just to put some context.
Yeah, it's just good to see like you guys take leads when you need to. Like, all right, I'm gonna focus solely on promoting. You guys keep doing what you're doing, and I'll push this now. And like seeing you guys branch out like that, it's amazing to see, because like I said, a lot of teams that I've worked with and I've been in the background with, there's always confusion. There's always people stepping on each other's toes. There's a lot of like, well, you're supposed to do that, and blame and things not getting done. But with you guys, you just step up, you take control. One of you gets out in the front of one thing and you push it while the other ones are still working in the background. So like I said, it's just awesome to see all that personally, not just seeing it as a holder, but seeing it behind the scenes too. So, I love shouting it out to you guys. And just real quick, want to say what's up to everybody in the chat. Haven't been ignoring you. Just been, having a little chit chat here with Jack, but good morning to everybody that's joining us. Everybody here from the Jelly team, Decod3rs. Much love to you guys all coming out here to hang out with us this morning. Well, my morning, your evening, afternoon, and anybody that's celebrating the holiday today, hope you have a good day with that and everything's going well. Get back to eating your food. I know a lot of you people have been fasting recently, so I'm sure you guys are probably have a big meal. I don't know how that works. Do you guys have like a big ass meal like when you finally don't have to fast anymore?
Yeah, I think there's like massive like all the families come together and they're just massive meals and just celebrating the day. I guess it's kind of similar to like Thanksgiving for Americans or just like Christmas for Europeans and stuff like that. It's like similar to that, just a big celebration with a lot of food and yeah, a lot of family together.
Yeah, it's one thing I do love about the space and being in Discord is the culture. Because like me as an American don't understand a lot of cultures because it's not in front of me. And it's funny because a lot of Americans are just, straightforward and only they're only focused on themselves most in most instances. So like they'll go to other countries and be like, it's Thanksgiving. Why aren't you guys celebrating? Like,
Yeah,
hello. Thanksgiving's really only an American holiday because it celebrates, the same thing with like 4th of July. Like the rest of the world doesn't even
yeah.
celebrate 4th of July, you idiots. It's an American holiday. So, like for me to learn about other cultures, I love that with Discord and NFTs because that's one thing that I've gained from getting into space, not just the toxicity that happens. Like there's a lot of knowledge and a lot of like eye-opening things for myself as an American that I've learned about the world, culture, other people, and like even the viewpoints people have of different countries and like how people see things. Like that to me is very eye-opening. I'm very thankful for that in the space to like get all that knowledge. Hopefully other people feel the same way, but like I that's one thing I do love about Web3 is just like that cultural understanding of other people and the rest of the world. Because it's an eclectic bunch in the Discord server. Not everybody's like from your town or your city or your state or your country. So it's cool like to mingle with other people like that.
Yeah, man. And there's always something going on, right? As you say, like maybe not even just Americans, but a lot of people are just stuck in their own bubble, right? And it's like just what's happening with them. But in the Discord, you go in there once an hour and there's something going on. You know what I mean? There's always
Yeah.
something happening. So it's good to have that like that web and connected bubble, I guess. And you can learn about different things and experience different cultures and stuff, which is yeah, probably like an unappreciated part of Web3, I would say, is like expanding your knowledge on different areas of the world and just what's going on in general.
Yeah, and that brings me to your background. I mean, we know you're Irish. You can tell. I mean, you have the Irish accent in a sense, and I don't think you'll ever get rid of that, even no matter
No,
where
I
you
hope
live.
not. I hope not.
You'll always have the Irish about you, and I'm a little bit Irish, so I wish I was a little more cultured in that terms because I do have the heritage there. And it's probably why I'm a prick most of the time when I want to be.
Yeah, that's,
It's probably the
yeah, it's,
Irish in me.
yeah, yeah.
But
We're all dickheads.
yeah, and like, so did you grow up in Ireland or like were you in the UK? Like, where was your like childhood? Like, were you always in like? Because I really don't know, so I'm curious.
Yeah, no, yeah, 100% Irish beef, I guess you would say. Born in Ireland, raised in Ireland. Yeah, not much more to say. Just a proper Irishman, I guess. Yeah,
And
best country in the world.
do you miss it? Because I know you're living.
Uh, 50-50. Like it's proper expensive there. It's like one of the most expensive countries in Europe. Um, and yeah, it's a bit of like, how do I word this without insulting myself? But it's like a bit of a dead end almost. It's like there's not much you can achieve there. It's like people just do their 9 to 5 jobs and then go to the pub on the weekend and just drink away fucking all their savings and all their money every weekend. It's like that's all people do really. Obviously, that's generally speaking. That's like not everyone does that, but
Yeah, because it
it's
sounds
almost
like
a dead end if you want to be ambitious. You know what I mean? Everyone's just stuck doing the same shit, and it's like if you're not into that kind of stuff, it's like it's a bit boring.
yeah, it sounds like America. It's kind of too.
It's probably everywhere, man. It's probably the
Expenses to
same as
live.
everywhere.
People work 9 to 5s. People drink their lives away because they're just tired,
Yeah,
And I think that's what our governments want us to do. They want us to be distracted, so they want us to work our asses off and make them money, and then go home and drink ourselves to sleep and repeat the process. So I mean,
yeah,
you could break out of that cycle. All the power to you. And I think Web3 is allowing a lot of us to get out of that cycle. If you're paying attention, you get it. And like people like yourself that are working full time in Web3, because you've made a career out of this now. You don't work a real job. You work solely for Jelly and Gambulls team. You're on the payroll with Carlos and his companies that he's built. And I don't think people realize that like everybody thinks it's just an NFT project. They don't understand that Gambulls and Jelly, Jelly's its own thing. JellyCo is its own thing. Gambulls is its own thing. Carlos just happens to be a part of both, but that they're both legit businesses in actual like a Web2 arena. There's payrolls, there's this, there's that. There's the actual like a whole like a real business. So I don't think a lot of people understand that. They just think like they're showing up in an NFT Discord and that's all they're getting. But
yeah, man.
I mean, it's cool to see. And like I said, working with you guys has been a blessing. I've been with you guys for a little over a year now, and I've never had any issues on the back end with you guys. You guys always been fair, communicated, and I've always, my responsibilities were always laid out, and I just do my job as intended, as best as I can. And I've never had any issues in the terms of a business. Speaking as an employee of Jelly, like, you guys are
It's
wonderful.
always been a pleasure. It's always been a pleasure to have you on board.
But I think like a lot of people don't understand, like in Web3, like I've worked a lot of jobs where like I never like they'll like, oh, we're gonna pay you this much on this day, and then like for 2 weeks you're like, yo, you don't want to be a dick because you don't want to be like, bro, I didn't get paid yet, but you gotta be at a
Nobody
certain
wants
point.
to
Yeah,
ask for
and like,
money, but you kind of get to a certain point where you just have to. But nobody wants to be in that position.
And that's one thing I can positively say, and working with Jelly, I've never had an issue with. Like, you guys said you're going to pay me on this day, and I get paid on that day, and it's uniform. So that just shows you the kind of business that this is. Because like me as an employee, I have no problem getting paid, and like the company continues to build and prosper where they can keep paying their employees. So that's a wonderful thing, and that's why you guys see me so active in the Discord, because I'm a happy person working with Jelly, because they take care of the people that work with them, and that provide for the project just like they do the holders. So it's awesome. So I get a little bit of both because excuse me, I am a holder too, so like I get to see the holder benefits as well. So it's good to see both sides of that. So much appreciation there. Leads me to my next point with you. You do talk about meme coins a lot lately, and on your Twitter, you're talking about Jupiter and Bonk and other things like that. How do you feel about that? Like, do you think that's like going to be like the new thing? Like, do you think like Bonk is like the new SHIB? Do you think like Gecko and these other coins that are tied to projects but are actual meme coins are going to do well? I know we all know Jupiter is going to do well. How about Tensor? Like, what are your thoughts on that? I just kind of want to touch a little bit on your meme coin knowledge, because I know you do have some knowledge, and I know it's a big part of your timeline. So I'm kind of curious.
The problem is here is like, do I speak honestly or do I speak with my bags in mind? That's like the
I think you should speak honestly. Speak honestly.
Speaking honestly, like
meme coins.
they're not here forever. Like they're not gonna do better than NFTs long term, in my opinion. It's just a phase right now, and if you're not taking advantage of different phases that come in, you're kind of just not doing a justice to yourself. Meme coins are here right now. They're doing a shit ton of volume. They're getting a lot of attention, so it would be silly to not get involved and try to take advantage while you can of what's there. In terms of like what you mentioned, like Bonk and Jupiter stuff, obviously I'm like super confident Jupiter goes to $10, just based on like kind of a comparison of what Uni did from Uniswap. Well, pretty sure if Jupe gets to the same market cap that Uniswap did at its all-time high, I think Jupe's about $15 if that happens. So conservatively, I think like $5 is like, again, like I don't want to be stupid and say like guaranteed, but I'm pretty sure it's guaranteed to hit 5. It should go to 10, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, Jupe is like a massive one to hold and stake. It seems like one of the easiest plays right now, I would say, within the ecosystem is just to buy and stake Jupe. Obviously, we just got the Zeus airdrop, or well, like a quarter of the Zeus airdrop, I think, or something like that. And I think Sharky is going to be involved with Jupe stakers too. And I feel like these opportunities are going to last all year, like just constantly getting airdropped for different things. So Jupe's definitely like one of the main ones to hold. Bonk, yeah, Bonk is out of the meme coin kind of, how would you say? I wouldn't really say it's a meme coin anymore. It's like evolved a little bit past that. Can it do what SHIB did? I don't know. Same as Doge. It's like Elon was involved with Doge, and I'm pretty sure he had a little bit of involvement in talking about Shiba too. So it's like to think that it's going to do the same as those is maybe, yeah, a little bit hopeful. But I mean, if it does even half as good as those did, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of happy people on Solana. I think, yeah, a lot of people hold Bonk, and Bonk has done great things for the ecosystem too. Like obviously, the majority of projects at the time in like end of December 2022 got airdrop Bonk for free, like 1 billion Bonk or around there. And then like, which is good for them. And then obviously Bonkmas too, where they gave people a shit ton of more Bonk, and with the stream flow vesting too, like the early contributors to Bonk, they all got what is it, like 2.5 billion unlocked over like 6 or 7 months. Luckily, I was a part of that because I was like one of the first 500 or however many wallets to buy Bonk. So luckily, like I'm blessed that I got like 2.5 billion Bonk vested. So they've done like a lot of things for the ecosystem, giving out like a shit ton of money. And they've proven that they can stay here long term. Obviously, Bonkmas was cool. They've got Bonk rewards where you can stake your Bonk now too. And BonkBot is like massively popular as well. I know BonkBot isn't directly done by the team. I'm pretty sure it was like community incentive that created and drove it. But even things like that is like, if you can create an ecosystem where the community feels incentivized to go and create products or services around that ecosystem, then you're obviously doing something right. And BonkBot does an insane amount of volume on Solana right now as well. So it's like definitely a team that I'm bullish on. And if they've proven that they can, they've dumped down many times to like really bad lows and they've pumped back up again. So it's one of the coins that I definitely think is worth holding and staking, which is what I do. And then, yeah, obviously you just touched on Tensor, right? That just came out. I'm like the same as you. I've got 100% loyalty on Magic Eden. I've traded on Tensor maybe like once or twice, and I got the airdrop, which was like super lucky. And they just gave away a shit ton of free money too, which I'm sure everyone can appreciate that was involved in. And as you say, the big guys that were trading on Tensor a lot got like life-changing money, like 6 figures plus, which is insane. I think this was it like season 3 or season 2? So I'm like, I'd imagine this is going to happen more in the future. So maybe it's going to incentivize people to start trading on Tensor more. But obviously you've got the Magic Eden diamonds too, which I know you just have a shit ton of Magic Eden diamonds that you've been stacking up.
I have a few.
a few 100,000. But yeah, it's interesting to see. I feel like people's expectations might be a little bit like blurred right now. They see Tensor coming out at like whatever launched at like
$1.60-ish, I think.
$1.60, like 170. So maybe their expectations might be a little bit like skewed right now in terms of maybe Magic Eden diamonds can open at that too, which obviously I don't think they will, because there's just so much more. And yeah, I don't know. People just need to.
But Magic Eden has been making a lot more money per month and have been doing it a lot longer than Tensor. So we got to take that into consideration, whether or not they are using their money wisely and they still have that money. I think a lot of people don't know that Magic Eden is still the #1 marketplace out there. If you look at just Solana, yeah, they're getting their ass kicked by Tensor, here and there. But if you look at overall market volume, they are kicking ass all over. Like Blur, OpenSea, nobody is competing with Magic Eden overall because of the Bitcoin and the Ethereum integrations. Not that Polygon's doing much, but that's there. And then, you have your Solana. So, I mean, I don't think people realize that. And me personally, with someone that has, a good amount of diamonds, I'd be happy with 30 cents, to be honest with you. 30 cents would still be a nice pocket change where I can I can make a difference in not just my life, but other people. Because me, I do like to give back as much as I can with free money. So when I get it, I like to share it. So hopefully 30 cents to me is reasonable. I think it's trading on Whales Market for like 10 cents now.
I think even a little bit more. I'm pretty sure there was like Sailors getting hit at 17 cents and around that level too.
I mean, the Whales Market's tough though, because you got to put up half the liquidity and then you're locked into the contract. And if you don't settle that contract, you lose your liquidity that you put up. So if I put up $50,000 USDC and I don't complete the contract, I lose the 50,000. But if I can make more money selling it on secondary after, and I cancel the contract, I could probably make back that money. So a lot of people are playing like a weird game, but who has the money to put up? Like right now, I think I have 130,000 diamonds. So if you think it's 17 cents and I want to sell all of them at 17 cents, I got to put up half of that amount. So what is that? What does that equate to? What's that, like 20 grand, or whatever? I don't even know the math, but either way, it's a lot of money that I don't want to just put off to the side and put into holding. I'd rather just wait for diamonds to drop and see what happens. I mean, I'll be happy to sell them at 10 cents. I mean, at the same time, I mean, it's still free money, guys. It's still free money from trading and being given back. But it's good to see these secondary platforms giving back to the holders, though. Even if it's a little bit, they don't need to give us back their money. It's like asking Amazon to give us back money because we use their platform. Like, it doesn't happen in Web 2. Amazon doesn't refund you for all your value that you put in there, and that's the crazy thing about Web 3 is we expect it. But in Web 2, you would get laughed at. Yeah. Like, if you called up Amazon, like, "Yo, where's my airdrop? I've used your platform. I've spent $100,000. I want something back." They're gonna be like, "Here's a $5 off coupon. Get the fuck off the phone."
Yeah, I think it's like a thing of like bigger markets too. Right? Obviously, Amazon, they don't need to do that, right? Like, it literally makes no sense. But if you look at even like in Web 3, in the different ecosystem like crypto casinos, it's kind of like what Magic Eden are doing right now. It's almost like a rake back system in a way, right? Like, you spend money with us, we'll give you back some money as a like incentive to try retain those users, right? So obviously all crypto casinos do it to try say, listen, if we can offer you a great rake back system, come play with us and we'll give you some of your money back, which is like I would compare it to what Magic Eden and Tensor are doing now. It's like, oh, if you spent X amount with us, let's reward you, and then hopefully we retain you forever, and you just keep using us. So I'm sure maybe like if it was as mainstream as like Amazon, where like there's literally it's monopolized in a sense, then there'd kind of be no reason to do it. But yeah, I guess like a main incentive for the marketplace to do it are to use that liquidity, however much like Tensor spent on the airdrop and how much Magic Eden are going to spend on it, is just in hope to retain those users, I guess, and make that money back 10x long term, which is, I guess, probably an incentive as to why they're doing it.
Yeah, because what do people do with the money? They generally go and buy NFTs. So
Yeah.
now the marketplaces are getting back their fees. They're getting the
Hmm.
trade volume there, which is helping them in the eye of marketing, because now they have more volume on their so it is all marketing
Yeah.
generally at the end of the
Indeed, yeah.
day, and they're giving back a fraction of the money that they've made over the years, which is good. But again, it's just like they're probably writing it off as marketing. That
Yeah.
airdrop is a marketing expense. On the sheet. However much it is. But I'm interested to see what happens with Magic Eden. Like I said, I've been using them since they pretty much came out, because they came out. I want to say they came out the end of 2021 when we were trading, when Solana art was big and
Yeah.
alpha art was a big thing. I think Magic Eden was there, and I remember I used to trade, and I would always like go and look where things were listed, and I'd see Magic Eden. I was like, I don't like that site yet. Like, I kind of never would trade on there. I'd only trade on Solana art and alpha art because that's what I knew.
Yeah.
When I first got into the space, and then eventually, Magic Eden became like the global like place to go to buy things, and we got used to it and we started using it. I think I started using it probably the beginning of 2022. So, I mean, a few months after it was born. I think it came out like October, November, maybe of 2021. I think is when Magic Eden launched,
Yeah.
maybe around that time. Same time, I think they launched around the same time like Decods did, and right after the FFF mints back in those days. If you guys remember those days, if you were here for those days.
Yeah.
That's when I got in NFTs. Actually, it was right around the same time. So, which leads me to my last question for you, Jack. I do appreciate you giving the time today to talk about your personal life a little bit, and your experience here in Web3. But what's your future in Web3? Like, do you see yourself staying with Jelly and Gambulls forever? Like, as long as the businesses are here, are you locked in? Is this it? Like, this is where you're gonna stay? Like, you don't see anything else? Like, you don't see yourself starting a project or anything, or like working with other projects? You fully committed, like, for the rest of your Web3 journey here? Like, what's your future look like?
But yeah, man, in terms of making my own project, like there's a 0% chance, man. The shit that I've fucking seen. Being a project founder is like, honestly, I would rather be a janitor in a school. Like, you know what I mean? As an example, it's fucking horrid. Like the shit that they've got to deal with. And across the whole ecosystem, like every founder just deals with this shit. It's like just entitled holders that are just talking shit. I mean, you've experienced it also firsthand, Jess. Like being within the ecosystem, it just seems like, yeah, something that I will never ever want to do. In terms of my future, like, yeah, definitely Jelly and Gambulls. I hope will be like my absolute future. Don't want to work anywhere else. I love the people that I work with, and I love like actually doing the work. So yeah, hopefully that's like the future. I never ever want to work in a Web2 job again, which I didn't have to do much of anyway. I guess like just working through school, not in like a crazy job or anything, and then working doing like internships and stuff during university. And it's like it's okay, but it's like, yeah, it's not that exciting. It's just the same shit every day. And yeah, this is definitely a much more like exciting place to work. You've so much more opportunities. You get to meet people from all around the world, travel all around the world. So yeah, hopefully this is, which I'm super confident that like Jelly and Gambls will be around, not just for a year, not just for 10 years, but hopefully for the rest of my life. So that's the plan, man. I don't plan to go anywhere else. Don't plan to work for any other teams. There's no reason to. When you've got such a good home and such good people around you, it's like you never really would want to go anywhere else. So yeah, that's the plan, man. Definitely not starting my own project, and yeah, sticking with Jelly and Gambles forever.
Yeah, I think usually when I ask that question, a lot of the people that I do interview that are project founders, it's their first project, or it's a project that they've taken over and they're still new to the space. So, like, asking you, I already knew the answer because I understand Jelly and Gamble's ecosystem, and I understand what Carlos has built with you guys, and his back. It's because people think Carlos is this, that, and this, but they don't understand everything that goes on behind the scenes. Like, they're like you said, there's offices, there's teams that are there in place that are assisting and that are doing a lot of things. So that everything that has been built with the JellyCo system is something that was built to be a long-term business. And we're just seeing the beginning of this, guys. I know a lot of us have been in the server for 2 years, but you got to think of it like a Kickstarter fund. Like the first 2 years was like Kickstarter trying to get our leg down, trying to figure out things. But now the team pivoted. They saw what they need to do. They understand the ecosystem and what is needed, and they pivoted and they moved everything in the direction it needs to be. And now it's all relaunched. So like this is technically the beginning. And this is me talking as a holder solely, as a person who just upped my bags to be into the whale club and everything like that, because I saw that you guys pivoted. And you guys know I'm an investor. So as soon as I saw the pivot happen and I saw what you guys presented, because even being on the team, I wasn't privy to know what you guys were actually doing.
Yeah.
I found out just like the holders did, because I'm only privy to certain knowledge. Like I'll get a heads up, hey, we're launching this today, get ready, and like be around because Discord is going to get busy. Like that's the kind of shit that I find out maybe a couple hours ahead of an announcement, but I don't know what you guys are actually working on in the background. So like for me, when I saw the pivot happen and I saw the redirection, I went from having 15 Mavericks to now having 52 in a month.
Crazy,
so what's that tell you? That tells you that I became very bullish on the plan and the future of what you guys presented as an investor. It has nothing to do with my association with the team. It's solely me as an investor, and me as a person who sold all my NFTs to get back in the crypto during the bear market. Now realize that NFTs are now in that bear market, and I'm taking advantage of the opportunity in front of me, because I was like, wait a minute. Okay, I like this. I like this. I like this. Oh, okay. Bye. Yeah. And that's just me talking personally. So like, that's why I understand, like when I asked you that question, I knew the answer was going to be Jelly and Gambulls, because I know what you guys set up. It's long term. It's not going anywhere. And I think a lot of people in Web3 don't have the grasp of looking ahead 1 year in this space.
They really don't understand. It's like what we're focused, like as you said it perfectly. It's like this is almost the start now. Like people say, oh, but you've been around for like a year and a half or 2 years or whatever. But like, man, if you look at fucking businesses in Web2, a year and a half or whatever is nothing. Like that's literally laying the foundations and still like losing money, draining money for year on year. Like people don't really understand that. Like, yeah, it's just frustrating. You touched on it perfectly. I don't need to repeat it, but it's like, shit, man. Like this is how businesses work. You set something up. You're not meant to make money for a long time. Luckily, we are making money, which is absolutely fantastic. And I don't think people appreciate how crazy it is to be making money like a year into a business and to actually be profiting month on month, which isn't like, that's pretty rare, man. And like, yeah, full focus now is because we're not in a rush. Like when people say, oh, once something happened with Jelly or whatever, like there's no immediate rush for us to do it now. Like we're making sure that we're making sure everything is absolutely perfect so that when things do fall into place, like it's not just needing to be worked on. Like everything's being added and putting fucking real good time and work into, because it doesn't matter if we launch right now or if we launch in a few months or like, launch a new update. It's not going to make a whole lot of a difference. Like once the product isn't going to be there for a year, the product's going to be there for 10 years, for 20 years. So there's no need to rush anything, man. Like once we're doing everything right and once we're making sure that we're not cutting any corners, like that's all that matters for us. So when people kind of get impatient and stuff like that, it's like, yeah, I'm sorry, but you just kind of got to get used to it, because we're not rushing anything. We're making sure that everything is being done like absolutely perfect so that we don't launch this and then in 6 months time say, oh fuck, we skipped this detail or we missed that. We really shouldn't have rushed this. It's not. Like we take our time and make sure everything's being done right, and yeah, the rest will just take care of itself.
Yeah, I totally respect that too. And I think too, like when you were talking about entitlement, a lot of holders feel like, well, I own an asset in your company and I deserve this. And that mentality in Web3 is very skewed. Like people need to understand one thing. If the business is confident that they're going to be successful, they're not going to baby you, because they don't need to retain a holder who's demanding like most projects do. Because some projects don't know when they're going to get their next royalty or their next paycheck or how they're going to sustain after 3 months. So they're trying to hold on to every holder possible. So they'll kiss your ass. They'll tell you what you want to hear. Whereas we're like a project like Jelly, like you guys know you're going to be successful. You're building things to be successful. So in the meantime, if people are a little antsy or they're a little demanding, you're not going to kiss their ass. And I'm not saying this in a mean way. I'm just being honest in business. You're not going to sit there and like kiss their ass and be like, oh, well, let us give you this now. Let us give, because you guys understand what you're doing. And you know that if the people are just patient, they will be rewarded. And it's hard for people to be patient because a lot of these people, like I said, have been in the server 2 years, but they got to understand that the first year and a half, Carlos never had an NFT project. He launched things, he got things rolling. And a lot of people that were with you guys early made some fucking money. And if you're in this server and you're telling me you were there from Jelly Babies and you're saying you didn't make money, well, then that's your problem, because the money and the opportunity was there. There was plenty of opportunity to make money in the last year and a half being a holder. Now, if you're a new holder that bought in, say, at a top, and you've only seen the cascade, then yes, I understand you're a little upset, you're down on your bags. There still has been a lot of opportunity in the alpha chats and other ways, but yeah, not as much opportunity has been there for the original holders, the OGs. So I understand both sides of that. Me personally, I wasn't an OG, but I did have a lot of opportunity when I made my entry during the alter ego till now to make money. And I did. I sold some at like 70 that I bought at 8 sold. And then I bought back in higher, but I still made money, and I rotated money around, and I took ROI out of other projects and brought it back in. But me as an investor, I'm only, people got to understand, you're in control of your investments. If you didn't sell the top, it's not the team's fault that the floor crashed.
That's the main
you know
thing,
what I mean?
Like shit, man. Like people have had so many opportunities. And the truth is, if we could give everyone $1 million right now, we would fucking love to do that. But it's just not realistic. You know what I mean? Like, just as holders say, "Oh, why can't you pump the floor?" Like, we would love for the floor to be at 500 right now, but we're not going to go out of our way to make sure that we do anything just to pump the floor price. As I say, we're working on everything in the background. The only focus is the businesses. The floor price will take care of itself no matter what, like when the time comes. So it makes no difference. But like, we would love if we could just snap our fingers and the floor is at 200, sell your assets, everyone be happy. Let's give you $10,000 a week. Like, we'd fucking love to do that, but people are just like, they say things to us like, "Oh, do this, do this." It's like, man, we would love to do it right now if we could, but you just got to be patient and wait. Like, it's like we're down just as much as the holders are down. You know what I mean? Like, we all hold these assets. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, Carlos is definitely down. I think people like get that misconstrued. They think like he's extracting money from Jelly. I don't think the man's ever taken
so much money.
He's never taken any money from Jelly personally. I'm sure he's been paying all of our salaries out of his damn pocket, and will continue to, because I've noticed been plenty of times he's taken airdrops and just sold them to pay his staff. Yeah, that's what he's done.
Jelly, like, he got all these, like, he bought all these Jelly Babies before he derugged, right? So he's had a shit ton of Jelly Babies. He's never sold one once. He might have traded some, like, and given a shit ton away. And even all the jelly and all the tokens that he's got, he's never once sold it ever. He just gives everything away. Like, he is down a shit ton of money in the Solana ecosystem, not just for Jelly, but from supporting other projects too. And he gets all this bullshit being like, "Oh, you're a rugger, you're just draining money." Like, it's just fucking, it's so stupid. So, I don't know how he deals with it, man.
My last point, talking about project owners and like my viewpoint, and I know this is not just about you, Jack, but just in general, and I'm sure you'll probably agree with this. When I see an owner of a project holding a lot of assets and waiting to take rewards with the holders, personally, that's bullish. Like, right now, there's three people out there that do this right now, and that would be Carlos, Genuine from Geckos, and Soulport Tom with Tayo. They're substantial holders in their own project, and they know that they will be rewarded and will make money when the holders make their money. And that's why they have big bags, because they want to take the money with the holders. So Carlos's angle is, I don't want to take money back on the back end. He'd rather give that to the holders, and then he'll take his share as a holder. And I think that's very bullish to be that way. And I'm the same way with like Decod3rs. I haven't made a cent in Decod3rs, and I'm in the red. And Vince is even way more in the red, because he's invested so much money in the development of Decod3rs, and paying for all the fees and putting everything into place, and the marketplace that we've launched. I mean, 98% of the stuff we've given away on marketplaces come from his bags. All the bonk, all this, all that. And, I donate some stuff here and there when I can, because I'm very generous, but I'm not even close to giving what Vince is giving back to the holders. And we have holders that have made $1,000 in just winning stuff off our marketplace in the last couple of weeks. And that's all out of Vince's bags. This is money he could have just sold and had the money, but he'd rather give it back to the holders that believe in supporting his vision. And it's the same thing Carlos is doing. It's the same thing Genuine Articles is doing over at Geckos, and the same thing Tom's always been doing in Tayo. Is they want the holders to win before they win, and they know they will win when the holders win, when their fruition of the project actually hits and does what they want to do. And I think people need to be more bullish on founders like that. And I think that's why you're so bullish working for Jelly, because Carlos is that guy. Just like I'm so bullish working with working with you guys, and why I decided to work with Vince when we launched Decod3rs, because I know the type of people they are, and that's the type of people I want to work with in this space. Those people that put themselves last, and they'll eat when the holders eat. You know what I mean? Like, I'll eat when you guys eat. Like, you go ahead, you guys serve yourself. I'll take what's left. Oh, there's only a little piece of chicken left. All right, that's fine. I'm not that hungry anyway. That's
man,
what people miss.
Like, he could have sold 100 rascals, 200 rascals when they're at like 100 sol, 150 sol, because there was that buy pressure there. He could have easily exited thousands of Solana, sold all the jelly, sold everything, but like, he didn't. You know what I mean? So it's like, when people say, "Oh, he's here for the money, he's here for this," it's like he had the chance to literally make hundreds of thousands, if not millions, off his own project, and didn't take a cent. He just put more money in.
Yep.
So it's like, when people are just talking shit, man, it's just like, it's laughable at this point. I'm like, I used to get to him months ago, but now he's just like, he doesn't give a fuck. He's like fully confident in himself, and there's no point in listening to just literal idiots that are just looking for attention.
It's gas, man. It's gas, because now it's going to fuel the fire to make him be more successful. And that's the kind of stuff we use Web3 FUD for. We use it as gas. Those of us that are in the space and are wholeheartedly in the space, and then know we're not fucking over people and we're doing right, like, we all have the opportunity to be fucking shady and fuck people over and rug people and steal from people. We all have the opportunity in this space. Then there's people like ourselves in this chat, and Carlos and Vince and these founders that choose to be good because, why not? Like, I don't need the money. Like, I'm here to help everybody else make money. Like, I want to see us all do well. So I think it's just a wonderful thing to see, man. And I know Jelly's going in the right direction. That's why you see me get super bullish. I don't know if that's a buy or a sell signal to see Jazz, pick up 40 friggin' Mavs in less than a month. I mean, let it be whatever it is. It's what happened. It's just, you can go on the blockchain and see it for yourself. I've been accumulating. I've became a whale, and I keep accumulating. As I get extra money, that's where it's going right now, because there's me buying crypto right now doesn't make sense, because we're already at 50%. Like, if you look at all-time highs and you look where the market is right now, we're 50% above the bear market and 50% back to those all-time highs. So to me, I've lost that 50%. So for me to keep investing into it when I already have stacked bags doesn't make sense. But now I see NFTs in that bear market, and I'm like, all right, now the opportunity is here for these, and I'm going to stack up on these, because I know once crypto takes its turn, people are going to rotate their funds back in to NFTs, because that's how I got the NFTs. Took my profits out of the last bull cycle, and I was bored. I was like, what am I going to do with this money? Can't invest in crypto. It's on its way down. What are these JPEGs? I know nothing about these. Let me check them out. And then I brought money over into the Solana system, and I got invested, and that started my story. But I think we're there again. I think we're at that point now where NFTs are at their lows, crypto's starting to pump off. And then, meme coins, of course, is taking away a lot of liquidity from NFTs too, but it's all going to end and come back. And that's where 100%. I'm at.
It's and all just a repeat cycle, eh? Like, Bitcoin, it's 100K. When ETH gets to 10K, when Solana pumps to 350, 400, like, where do you think that money's going to go? People have just made a shit ton of cash. And like you, like a lot of people, fuck, I've got all this extra money. I'm a little bit bored. What can I do with this? They're either going to go and gamble, or they're going to go in NFTs or DeFi.
Or both.
Maybe not DeFi as much, like people that are both, which is like, they're both similar things. But people that have been around like in the NFT ecosystem for the last like 2 years, I feel like right now they're more attracted to DeFi, right? Because they've known the NFC side. The DeFi is probably a little bit more attractive right now to people, but it's all these new people that are coming in that are making money off crypto. This is their first cycle. They might have bought Solana at $10 because their friend told them to, and now it's going to pump to $300, $400, $500. They're going to be the ones coming into NFTs for the first time and being excited, just like we were, being like, oh, watch this. This seems super cool. Let me get a part. And it's the true OGs like Jelly, like your Solport, like your like your Tayo, like your Geckos, like your Blocksmiths, like your Stoned Apes. They're going to be the ones that are, I could name a lot, but by the way, I don't mean to leave some out. Like obviously Sharky, we've got a lot of like true contributors to the Solana ecosystem. They're going to be the ones in the forefront, simply because they've been here for the last 2 years. They've experienced everything. They've been building. They've got a true OG holder base, and like those are the ones that. And obviously, you're going to have your mints too, right? You're going to have that mint season again, where everything comes out. Mints for 1 sol, mints for 0.5 sol, and just instantly pumps. It's all going to come back. But the true OGs that have been here for the last 2 years, just grinding, trying to give as many opportunities as they can to their current holders, I think they're going to be the ones that are going to be super successful in the next maybe 12 months or whenever that money does start coming back into NFTs. And I definitely like to think that the likes of Jelly and Gambulls are perfectly set up to take advantage of that money coming in.
Yeah, I agree with you, man, fully with this take, and I'm excited for it. NFTs will have their day again, people. If you're listening, don't get scared. You're supposed to buy the fear, not sell it. So just
Hmm.
keep that in mind. Me as an investor, I've been very successful in crypto. I've been decently successful in NFTs. You know, they're still early, but I have sold and I've made great profits in this space. So I can call myself successful because I took my profits on my DGods and my FFF and made a lot of money there. And my only holdings right now are my own project, of course, Decod3rs and Jelly and Gambulls in NFTs. I don't really hold many other NFTs, and if I do, I'm supporting friends' projects, doing that. And I don't have an interest because I'd rather be focused on a few projects and be 100% invested in those few projects than be spread too thin, not being able to keep up what's going on and missing something. So keep that in mind too, because I feel like that's a big part of the space. A lot of people get spread too thin and they can't keep up with all the projects and they miss out on a lot of things. So, you know, kind of narrow it down, bring it down to a few projects only. Stoked about Sharky coming up. I think that drops coming up when the next week or two. There, I know the farming season ends today. You just
Yeah.
mentioned Sharky, so I just wanted to bring that up. If you guys are farming Sharky, if you have any loans, go pay them off. Today is the last day to farm. I just paid off 2 loans. I've been farming loans. My poor 2 rascals that I keep using. I put them out on loan and pay them back in 2 days. It's not because I need the money.
Farming.
Just farming.
That's the Irish side of you coming out. Yeah, your little Irish heritage, just purely farming.
Yeah, I'm farming potatoes over here. The Sharky points. I don't have any Sharky NFTs, but I am farming the system. I have accrued like 100,000 points just farming loans. I borrow and then 2 days later I pay it back. So I really think that's pretty cool. Definitely pay attention. Sharky is one of the solid teams in the space. They're going to continue to do well as well. So support them if you haven't got a shark. I might actually buy a shark now that I'm thinking about it, maybe for the next season. But I actually minute sharks, but sold for profit because that's what I do.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
But Jack, I just want to thank you for your time, man. As I say it all the time is more valuable than any money. You giving me an hour of your time is much more than you could send me 10 soul right now. And to me, I would respect your hour of time over that 10 soul. So
It's always a pleasure, man. Thanks
yeah,
for having me on Decoders. It's
yeah,
not my first time here, and
yeah.
we have the Jelly Show, and I've done a few different shows with VPIF and with Vin. So I'm sure I'll be back for another one again. But I'm always happy to be here for sure, man.
Yeah, I think you're pretty much part of the team in a sense because I mean you're even in the tickets. Vince is bringing in the tickets and tagging you. So Jack's like a regular in the server. He's got another server. He's got to watch tickets in. I'm sure he's happy about that.
Yeah,
he gets tagged in our tickets, but it's mostly because you know we're doing Gambulls promotions and stuff like that. And Jack is your go-to guy when we have issues. So appreciate you for that too as well, taking care of the Decoder
all
holders.
good, man.
But this is the Jack that you guys will see in the tickets, so be nice to him. He's a wonderful lad. He's in a sense, but I just want to let you know I appreciate you, Jack. I appreciate what you do for the system. I appreciate what you do in the space. I know you can come over as being very harsh in the Discord sometimes because it's your personality, but you genuinely as a person are very positive in this space and you do well for others and your heart is in it for others to win, not just yourself. And that's a value that I really respect in the space. So I just want to thank you for that on a personal level. And yes,
Yeah, man.
Meta, I should have
Likewise.
bought a shark. Yes. I just sold them. I just never got back. They are cute though. I should buy one.
As you said, just one thing to touch on there, like because you're right, maybe in the Discord I do come off as a bit of a cunt, like, but the thing is, I'm just a brutally honest person. Like I just say it how it is. I literally just say it how it is. It may come off as a cunt, but like I don't beat around the bush. Like if someone says something that I don't agree with, I'm just gonna say it. Like you know what I mean. This isn't the Web2 ecosystem where the customer is always right, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like people say some fucking outrageous shit, and if I can't reply with some outrageous shit, then what's the point? You know what I mean? So yeah, I may come off as a dickhead, but I'm just honest. That's
yeah.
all it is.
I think the common person that's in there daily knows your personality and they know what you're saying and they get you. But you know, we might have a random holder that pops into Discord once every month and then sees you like just like say something. They're just like, man, he's a dick.
Yeah, which is fair enough, but it's like fucking man. It is what it is.
But that's the whole thing about the Jelly. That's the thing too, is that the Jelly team, we're very honest and straightforward. Like we're not just gonna kiss your ass because you are a holder. If you say something and we don't agree with, even myself, I will tell you how I feel. And then a lot of people are like, well, you're a mod, you shouldn't say that. What? I'm a holder too, and I don't have the right to speak my mind because I have a certain role in the server. Like I'm still a human being and I still have my own opinion, and I still give that to you. But I also do respect the project to a point that I won't go off on a tangent, but I'll still say what I need to say. And I'll keep the respect there, and you do as well, because again, you respect the team and you respect the roles. But at the same time, you're not just going to put up with some blatant shit.
Yeah, you just call it how it is and say it how it is.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
If you don't like it, I don't really care, respectfully. So.
And Peng, I did see your message in there. He said, not sure you addressed it, but would love to see and learn more about Carlos. Yeah, man, I would love to get Carlos on a show with this kind of format and like really pick his brain about his background and like how he got in the Web3 and all that. I did try to do it prior, but I think it was right before you guys, I forget where you guys were going. You guys were traveling. It was like the day before, and he was like on like an all night bender, like doing some shit, and just like yeah, and he like passed out before like the show.
Oh,
like,
I remember. Yeah, he fell asleep.
So like we never rescheduled it. So like maybe that's something I can talk to him. Right now things are a little busy. If you guys didn't notice, we kind of put the Jelly Show on Tuesdays on hold for right now because Carlos has been really busy with Gambulls, and the team, like even Carl and Jack, were having, they were making time for the show, but it was still tough with their schedules and everything that's going on right now. So we'd rather let the team cook, and once we get ahead and we get to a better position where they have a little more time, we'll bring that show back in the rotation, because we love having that show on, and I think we had a lot of fun doing that show, everybody involved. So it's a cool show, a cool format. Just right now we're just going to put it on pause for a little bit, just until we catch up on the back end with the team, with launching Jelly Drop's next version, Gambulls migration still going on, and the next push for Jelly with some of the new features that are coming out as soon as Solana decides to wake the fuck up.
Yeah. Hopefully soon.
But yeah, man, appreciate your time, man. I'm going to wrap this up. Everybody out there, make sure, you give Jack a follow. His social should be in the description. Go follow him on Twitter. He does post about meme coins a lot. So, maybe you get some ins on some meme coins to buy, mostly Jupe, Bonk, and the solid ones. He's not posting like, your mom's
your mom's tits or some shit. Just all this like shark with all this different stuff.
We're all degen, but we don't call that stuff out. We stay degen in our own time behind the scenes. We throw darts at things we don't tell people because we don't always make money. We do lose money a lot. So, but yeah, for sure. But even Jack's view, how is it working with Carlos? Were you surprised when you moved to Indo? Do you want to answer that real quick before we wrap this up?
It was my view on working with Carlos.
Yeah. As a person,
he's just a normal guy. Like, it's like we get along like super well. That's the lucky thing about the team, really. Like with the core team, we all like get along super well. We've kind of got similar personalities and similar interests, except for culture. I mean, he supports fucking West Ham, so there's not really much hope left for him. But in general, no, I'm obviously joking. We get along super well. He's super chill to work with, man. Like, he's just a normal guy. He's like super successful on Web2, so he's obviously not an idiot. He knows how to fucking run a business and how to get shit done and like just how to operate, which is obviously a lot like super helpful for me in terms of just learning, and not even just learning like in business side, but like all sorts of life, So he's like super easy to get along with, like extremely personable, extremely likable, extremely like knowledgeable. So it's literally just like it's a blast, honestly, man. As I say, like we get a lot of shit work done, but we can have a lot of fun together too. So it's like you get both sides of it as well. So yeah, Pengsu, just to answer what it's like to work with him, it's like fucking effortless, very easy and very enjoyable.
The only thing I can add to that I see in Carlos is confidence. He's very confident, and that's rest assuring for me, because when you see someone that's super confident in what they're doing, they understand what they're doing, because there's no hesitation. There's no like, he's very quick at knowing a solution to things that are presented to him and the way he responds to things. So that confidence speaks a lot for me. And just one last thing, I did see Metabay mentioned W. What's your take on Wormhole real quick before we wrap up the show, Jack? Do you have a take on Wormhole? Is it a hold? Is it a buy? Is it a sell? Just give me a quick 15-second take on Wormhole.
honestly don't have much of a take on Wormhole. I'm not a DGOD or Ute or Mad Lad holder, so I didn't get any. So I'm a little bit, how would I say, it makes me a little bit less less bullish as I didn't get an airdrop. But I think it dumped quite a decent bit after the DGODs got their airdrop. Right? Am I right in saying that Mad Lads still have a bit of an allocation to get for W?
Yeah,
Am
I
I
think
right in
it got
saying that?
delayed again. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. So obviously, I think if you are looking to buy, because I'm pretty sure staking is going to be coming out for it too. From what I've heard, they're going to be releasing staking for it, and obviously there's going to be incentives that are aligned there too. If you do want to buy, I reckon like I would suggest definitely wait until Mad Lads get their airdrop because there's obviously going to be a lot of sell pressure when that happens, which is like super obvious. So if you are waiting to buy, like definitely wait till after that. Yeah, I think next week Metababe said so. After that, give it like 24 hours. You'll see the movements there. I feel like it's pretty obviously. I mean, who knows, but it's pretty obviously going to drop in my opinion after Mad Lads get their allocation. So try to time your entry around that. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be buying too. Yeah, that's kind of all I have to say on Wormhole. As I say, I'm pretty sure I saw something that they are going to be releasing staking for it. So it might be worth to pick some up on this Mad Lads dip and then just stake it and hopefully see what happens. Maybe get more airdrops. Maybe there's different incentives. So that's probably what I'm going to do. I'm not going to buy a massive bag. Like most of my profits rotate back into dupe and stick that into staking because to me that's like the most obvious play by far. But I'm definitely going to pick up some W and stick it into staking if they do release that. And hopefully, get some more airdrops and more incentives by that way too.
Yeah, I'm an agreement with agreements with what you said with Wormhole as a take. I do believe it will drop after Mad Lads, and it'll be a good buying opportunity if you're holding. Maybe even sell a little prior to Mad Labs dump, and then buy back in. Recycle the same liquidity to get more in a position. That's at least what my suggestion would be. I don't have any Wormhole. I sold my DGODs before the merge, so I wasn't eligible. The one that I do have still staked on my ledger, it's not in the ecosystem. It's on my hard ledger, like it's offline. So I didn't get any allocation for it because I don't think you could see it because it's literally in an ETH ledger, like in a wallet that's like not online. It's not connected to anything. You can't see me as a holder. I plan on selling at 20 ETH, but I don't think that's ever going to happen now. So I'll probably bring it out of retirement and sell it for like 5 ETH now, and just take it's still a win. It's all ROI. So no complaints here. Whatever I sell it at, I just thought they were going to, pump a little harder when they first
They
merged.
still could. Who knows, man? Who knows? They can still have a comeback. I mean, Frank
Yeah.
is obviously someone that knows how to fucking get hype going and to push the project up. So, yeah, I wouldn't say like never give up on DGODs, man. Like,
Yeah,
they're gonna
I
continue
count it as
producing good shit. So,
I just see it as more ETH in my wallet with my ETH, so that's the way I look at it. Whatever,
just eat with a picture on it.
Maybe I'll bring it back to Solana and keep it and go back to being a holder.
That's the plan, man. When that ever opens up to swap it back to Sol, that's definitely the
I might do it now that they're back. They're given that opportunity. I might just be back in the DGODs Discord as a Solana holder because I love Solana. But yeah, man, I took up enough of your time, man. Appreciate you, Jack.
Likewise, man.
Appreciate you so much, and we'll talk soon again. And like you said, I'm sure you'll be on the show. We'll bring the Jelly Show back soon, and we'll see you guys all in the Discord, guys. I hope you guys have a great day, great holiday if you guys are celebrating, and we'll see you in the next stream.